So during the past decade, we've been studying hundreds of the world's most innovative leaders. And if you were to shadow or follow them for a day, here's what you'd watch them do day in and day out. Number one, they ask provocative questions. They're constantly asking questions that challenge the status quo. And they not only ask the questions, but they get up and they get out of their office and they actively seek out answers to the questions they care about. So they're great observers, like anthropologists. They look around them carefully, inside and outside of their organizations. They're great networkers for new ideas. This means they're not trying to get a career advancement, but they're networking and talking to people who are not like them, who have a different perspective and a way of looking at the challenge they're trying to figure out. And then they also are great experimenters. They're willing to try small, fast, cheap experiments in order to get something moving forward and create a solution that matters. This is how they act differently. They ask questions, they observe, they network, they experiment, and that enables them to think differently. We call it associational thinking. Steve Jobs called it connecting the unconnected. Albert Einstein called it combinatorial play. But the point is, we take something from one place and from another place, and we create something called an iPod years ago that was music on this instrument that we never had before in our hands. That's what innovative leaders do. Whether it's Steve Jobs in the past, whether it's fill in the blanks, Jeff Bezos at Amazon today, they use these 5 skills every day to solve problems. As Ed Catmull recently told me, creativity is problem solving. Innovation is problem solving, but it's problem solving not sitting in an office. It's actively out there in the world using these skills with real people in real places to get real new solutions. So the insurance industry, like the aerospace industry, like the banking industry, like the pharmaceutical industry, like the defense industry, they're all highly regulated. And they're all dealing with things that have a long-term implication. And as a result of that, it's really easy for everyone within the organization to think that we can't innovate because of all these constraints. But those constraints are usually in a very narrow space, even in the insurance industry. And the biggest thing that the insurance companies can do around the world is, frankly, for the senior leaders of those companies to actively use these innovation skills of questioning, observing inside and outside of your organization, networking and talking to people who aren't like you to get solutions, experimenting and trying things to find over and over different approaches to the solution. When CEOs spend their time solving problems that way, the insurance industry will continue to change for the better. We know from our data that innovative CEOs at innovative companies, from a shareholder's perspective, spend twice as much of their personal time actively using these innovation skills to solve problems than non-innovative CEOs at non-innovative companies. So here's what that translates into. 4 months out of the year, the CEO of an innovative company is actively in the world using these skills to get answers to their problems. And the final piece, in terms of transforming the insurance industry, it's always being completely customer focused. It's an obsession with the customer. It's using these skills, being out of our offices, out of our headquarters, into the world, with the end user, with the client, with the person who's insured, in their houses when they've been ruined, in their world when they have healthcare needs. Understanding them in that real way causes us to have deep empathy for the people we're insuring, and that causes us to make different decisions about the companies we're leading. And as a result, we have to do things better, and we're committed to that, and that's what innovation is all about.